Hi guys, welcome to Brew Simple. If you'd watched my previous video, you've just learned how to pressure transfer or close transfer from a fermenter into a keg. Now what I'm going to show you is how to pressurize or how to carbonate your keg in under 5 minutes. It's a pretty simple process, but it can go terribly wrong. So there are a few key tips and instructions that you need to follow relatively closely. All you need for this is obviously your keg of beer, your CO2 cylinder and regulator, and something to roll the keg around on. You can actually do it on the floor of your garage or wherever you're brewing. I prefer to do it on top of a coffee table just because it's more comfortable basically. So let's kick it into gear and I'll show you what to do. So what you need to do first is set your CO2 regulator up at your desired serving pressure. I generally serve my beer at around 15 psi, and that's what we're going to use today. So what I'm going to do now is attach the CO2 to the keg and then lay the keg on its side. Now I'm going to rock this keg rather vigorously for a few moments, and what you're going to do is you're going to actually hear the CO2 bubbling into the keg. Ready, steady, go. Hopefully you can hear that. You can actually hear the CO2 flowing into the keg. I'll do it again. I'm going to keep rocking the keg until I stop hearing the bubbles. Now this can take about between 3 and 5 minutes depending on how vigorously you're rocking the beer. What you don't want to do is put too much pressure in your CO2 regulator, and you also don't want to continue rocking your beer after you stop hearing the bubbles coming through. You can see the bubble, you can hear the bubbles are nice and happy going into the beer. And I'll keep doing this and we'll come back and I'll show you what it's like once this keg is fully carbonated. Okay, so I've been going for about a minute or two now. You can definitely hear that the bubbles going into the beer are starting to slow down. I've been vigorously rocking this keg the whole time. Still hear bubbles going in. Okay, so we're continuing to rock the keg. You can start to hear the bubbles are stopping real slowly. There's only an odd bubble going in. I've only been going for about 2 or 3 minutes so far. At this point, I'm going to stop. There is no more CO2 going into this beer. If I continue to rock at this stage, I will actually overcarbonate the beer, which will cause a massive issue, and you need to decarbonate it, which can take several days. So I'm going to stand the keg up and remove the CO2 from the keg. Now I've got a keg of really foamy beer that has had the living daylight shaken out of it. What I'm going to do now is just sit it there for about a minute or so, and then I'm going to transfer it to the kegerator. Now what I've done is I've transferred the keg that we just force carbonated into the kegerator. This is her here. What I'm going to do now is let it sit for about 10 minutes. It's going to let the beer relax. All that carbonation and fuzz and bubbles are going to settle down, and then we'll pour one off and see how carbonated it is. Okay, so now for the time of glory, I'm going to pour a beer off from the keg we've just carbonated. You can see there that she's quite happily carbonated hazy beer that was in the fermenter approximately 25 minutes ago, and she's good to go. Cheers. Thanks for watching my video on how to carbonate a beer really quickly. I think I said I was going to do it in about 5 to 10 minutes. All up, I'm guessing it's probably 20 minutes if you include the resting time that it takes before you can actually serve the beer. Nevertheless, I have a perfectly carbonated, drinkable, delicious beer that, because I cold crashed it and because I pressure transferred it, I can drink it pretty much 20 minutes after it came out of the fermenter. If you're keen to learn more about brewing, like and subscribe so you can get my latest updates on all my other videos. Cheers, have a good day.